It's all about diversifying your bonds. We're going to get into game number 2, enemy versus Randozos. We'll see if the clowns can pick it up.
Oh, but PandaCat with rotation. Desert's Fury on point.
Yo, PandaCat is on fire right now.
Purification forced by Homiefe. Homiefe tried to make it work, but Khaos definitely making it work. Morrowind takes a spill. 4 kills in total for enemy. Here
Actually
comes
going
enemy.
to end.
They're going to skip the Phoenix. The surprise win from enemy. Luminosity had no idea. Enemy versus Randozos. We'll see enemy with the first pick this time around. The first bans. Anything that enemy needs to get out of Randozos' hands?
Nothing that they should ban away from Randozos. It's more about what they want to execute. They're taking away the Khepri right now. PainDeViande likes to play a lot of warriors in the support role, so that's not a surprise coming out of enemy.
Khepri's just annoying. Guan Yu also equally as annoying, so the Dozo is going to take that one off as well.
More than likely, we'll see. Maybe Pain is going to look for the Odin pick early on, depending on the rest of the strategy, whether we see a Zeus in the mid lane or a Hu Yi as well for PandaCat.
I think we'll see the Zeus, seeing that Giannis is going to be banned out. Enemy absolutely love to first pick the Zeus. We see it very often when the character's not banned. And there's Randozo going ahead and banning the character. So do we see the first pick Mage for Khaos or something different?
I would like to see a Thor for enemy. The way Varizial has been playing it is very consistent.
Oh, yeah.
He's very aggressive. It sets his team up beautifully whenever you have that global pressure. And it's going to be the Raijin. You know, it's not the Zeus, it's not the Giannis, it's going to be the Raijin.
It's going to be the Raijin for Khaos. He's hot. He's hot. It's being hot, I mean, it's one of those things that you can't quite quantify. This guy's just doing well because he's doing well, right? There's no set stat you can look at. But Khaos is hot right now. And so enemy's going to play towards him.
And playing around Khaos, also picking up Thor for Skeeledon. He's going to want to make sure that if he's ever out of position, that he's going to get poked out. And now more global pressure on top of that with the Athena. It's going to be very difficult for Khaos to overstep even a little bit.
Yeah, Khaos is going to have to be extremely careful on this Raijin. Although the teleport's a little bit safer than it once was, still not the world's most safest mage, especially in juxtaposition to the Giannis. So Sobek will be selected, a little bit of peel for Raijin, and the third pick will be PandaCat's Artemis. Man, somebody asked me today earlier on first period what my favorite, like, god player combinations are. The last is Athena Jungle comes up, right, and some others.
Zap Uller.
PandaCat on Artemis, though. I mean, it's just so much fun to watch. He's so confident on this character. With a character that has minimal escape, Tusky's exciting, but not a true jump. PandaCat never really afraid on this character.
Panda, known to play very aggressive, likes to do trades, and Artemis, one of the best gods with the passive, having that early crit, can easily win a team fight early on.
And with going up against the Xbalanque, Artemis, it's interesting. Artemis is one of the late-game hyper-carry hunters, right? But because of that natural baked-in crit, especially with Throwing Dagger and the way the itemization goes, Artemis is actually kind of strong-ish early game, especially in comparison to Xbalanque.
Especially when you're paired up with a Sobek that's going to feed you an easy target to get your trap off of, and then more consistent follow-up damage. And with that, the way enemy played the Thor Xbalanque last game makes Randozos want to play the same exact way with the Xbalanque and the Thor.
And it's interesting because the Xbalanque is selected, but enemies still opt to ban out the Soul. So they're either expecting the Xbalanque to go mid lane, which is certainly not the case, but they really think that Randozos Aduro want to pick up the Soul for mid.
There's a lot of options. Soul is not the god that I would be looking at for Randozos. Scylla is on the table, paired up with an Athena taunt and a Thor Tectonic Rift that will easily set up the root and the crush.
Isis as well. Aduro's a fantastic Isis player, and Randozos want to stick towards this, or they've shown in the past couple of games that they like this early game strategy. Randozos are very strong in the early game, and so Isis will be the selection for Randozos. I would have liked to see Isis banned out here if I was enemy, completely honest with you.
There's a lot of things that they could have banned out. Isis was definitely a good early game ban. Whenever you're paired up with a Thor, one stun will set up the other, whether it's the Isis or the Thor stun. There's a lot of synergy between these two gods. We've seen it time and time again in Season 2, Season 1, the way these two work out together. A lot of mobility also with the Wing Gust, and Thor can cover a lot of distance with his abilities.
Fenrir and Sun Wukong will be selected for enemy, likely to see Sun Wukong on in the long lane and Fenrir on the Varizial, but, you know, things can always change. You never know, but realistically, that's a solo Sun Wukong and a Fenrir in the jungle. Randozos round out their selection with Vamana. Vamana versus SWK. What's your take?
It's a very safe matchup for the Vamana. He's going to get bullied out a little bit earlier on. However, he can easily clear under tower regardless with his Umbrella Ring, so it's not an issue.
The Isis. So I like what Randozos have here. As we said last week and a little bit today, Randozos have identified that early game is really their prowess. So you get the Isis-Thor combination. Athena helps out as well. Vamana will do well in the mid to late game, and then Xbalanque is there to clean things up. I really like the composition coming out of Randozos.
I agree, because now the Xbalanque is going to be looking for the 1v1, and he's just going to throw out his ultis whenever Skeeledon is going to look for those ganks, as well as the Athena ultimates on top.
I like the composition. Totally likes the composition. Will it be enough to win the competition? Randozos versus enemy. Round 2. Fight.
Polar Mike looks for the taunt. He's going to find it on Varizial. Nice Gap Shield. Varizial forced to beats. Makes it over the wall. Oh! Scary D snipes him out.
Really impressive. Scary D blind shot over the wall.
Stand against the wall and you see Skeeledon bring minions towards the wall.
Whalrus turning up this match. First blood on Divios. Looks like they're falling apart. PainDeViande got a cut. Elizabeth, the top! You bust her off!
Raijin on Khaos. This is the point where Khaos has had the most apropos name. He just causes sheer chaos on the enemy team.
Especially with the Soulstone and the Purple Pot, the way enemy is looking to play aggressive yet again. They're going to catch out Leftsyndrome.
Again, the Sobek with the curse. Not going on the tower. Pain knows better. So enemy not going to find the same
They could have had it. They could have had that kill easily. They have the curse. The dash was down. They plucked. So Pain, even if he took 2 tower shots there, he gets the pluck and the curse. The rest of his team can follow up. Khaos has Purple Pot. Varizial has Red Pot. That more than likely would have been a first blood.
Yeah, enemy playing a little bit safer. Enemy playing it a little bit safer.
I don't like it.
It's fun, you know. It is fun to see enemy go absolutely crazy. We'll see how it works out, though. PandaCat on this. You know what? This skin's interesting. It makes me think of, what was Bam Bam's girlfriend?
Oh. Yeah, that's before
Pebbles?
my time.
Pebbles? We're like the same age, buddy. Come on now. You're trying to... I'm actually just 19.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get a Duro to hang out.
Trying to find Sugar Mama.
PandaCat will go ahead and clear the back cams. Doesn't need the first blood to help out with those backs. We'll see just a standard startup from mostly everybody on the field. 15 seconds just in, and already enemy clear their red buff. A little bit of slower clear coming out from Randozos.
A little bit of a different build also coming out of the middle lane. Isis picking up the early protections instead of looking for the aggressive Soulstone Purple Pot combo with your Thor that also has red, but now going to get outpushed as a result. Khaos looking to stop the wing gust immediately, and now Aduro's going to lose a lot of gold under the tower.
Very well played. You know, I was about to say that as... Wow, Skeeledon very low thanks to the poke that enemy's able to dish out. I was going to say, you know, Isis, even without a red pot soulstone, she's able to dance. She's one of the best early game pressure gods, even without those other things involved. Except when you can interrupt the wing gust, and that's exactly what a Khaos is looking to do.
It's interesting because Aduro picked Isis into the Raijin knowing that the wing gust will get canceled in the 1v1 position, so it leads me to believe that they're more looking for the objective control with Circle of Protection instead of the laning phase.
If Randozos look to go for the early gold, or if enemy look to go for the early gold fury, as is their calling card, Randozos can just drop the Circle of Protection down and honestly just protect themselves, so that might dissuade enemy from going for any early objectives.
Especially with a Thor ultimate, if you pair that up with Athena, Defender of Olympus, Xbalanque, Darkest of Nights, it's going to be very difficult for enemy if they want to do this early pressure on the Gold Fury. But instead of the Gold Fury, they're going to look to pressure the solo lane, this time switching it from last game, going from dual lane to solo.
Enemy try to go find stuff in the jungle, but Randozos have already cleared it out, so nothing to gain. Instead, enemy will pick up these right-hand Harpies.
And they got the left side mid Harpies as well earlier on, so enemies looking in a really good position already as they poked out the solo lane and jungler early. Now PainDeViande going to avoid the dash, not going to take too much damage, going to survive.
He's taking a bunch, pretty low on mana as well on level 3. Could be killed if he plays his cards incorrectly. There's the slow coming out from the Xbalanque. Only going to hit the PandaCat though. If it hit PainDeViande, that would have been a much different situation. You see how much damage it did to the Hunter. But Varizial's here, and enemy are trying to bait Randozos into a bad situation.
Randozos did a good job calling MIA onto Varizial. They had pressure in the dual lane. They could have extended, trying to get of an early kill onto the Xbalanque for the stack, but they respected the MIA call out of Varizial.
That was as well as enemy could have played that as well. They're both 25% HP in this duo lane, and just trying to go for the kill, pushing up, trying to enforce it, but unable to find the sneak. Marauder, on the other hand, quite the opposite of sneaky, just right in the face of Whalrus, jumps on top of the ultimate, first blood going the way of enemy.
Marauder, like I mentioned, always plays aggressive in the solo lane, especially when you give him some Wukong, you have to respect his early aggression. Vamana can easily clear archers under the tower. You're going to lose a little bit of gold sure of the melee, but as long as you don't give up your life, that's more important, as Khaos not going to be aggressed on.
And there's a lot of damage from both the big Wolf and the big Drummer. One kill already, going for the second one is Khaos, trying to find Skeeledon, not enough to burst down the jungler, but that speed buff is as good as gone. Enemy find 2 kills in 3 minutes and pick up the speed.
The way enemy played that should have been the way Randozos played it. They should have been the one initiating onto Khaos, and they hesitated as a result. They didn't get off any aggression, and now enemy controlling the speed buff, controlling the red buff, forcing Randozos away.
Pluck going to be off the mark, no tail whip either, so enemy will pick up both the red buff and the boars over here. Doesn't look like enemy got the red, but they denied it from Randozos. You see that Randozos go ahead and get the experience for it, but until now, Skeeledon will go ahead and pick it up. Lots of speed.
And looks like the Isis was almost caught out of position there. There was a ward. Marauder going to get bullied out by Skeeledon. Nice rotation.
Well played. Just that's standard, right? Skeeledon shows up to defend the boars, and Marauder just a little bit out of position. Too low HP to make that play.
So because of the earlier on aggression, the ultimate timers between Marauder and Whalrus, is a little bit of a disparity between the two. Skeeledon recognizing that, taking full advantage, ganking the solo lane, allowing Whalrus to slightly come back into this laning phase.
We see the trio grouping up here. Mid, support, and jungle for enemy. As Randozos now going to do an invade of their own, take away the blue buff from Marauder, and that's excellent capitalization. Not content with just taking Marauder, they go ahead and they take out his buff as well.
Especially when you're on some Wukong who's very spam-oriented. He wants to get off a lot of cudgels, a lot of tiger stuns to poke out Whalrus in the situation. He got the first blood, and he had the warrior tabby on earlier on, and now because of that earlier death and losing 2 blue buffs, allows the Vamana to catch up.
Now they're only separated by about 200 gold. Before, the Sun Wukong lead was a lot heavier, especially keep in mind Marauder is the one that picked up first blood as well, so Marauder's lead has been cut very significantly.
And this is what Skeeledon is going to need to consistently do in the middle lane, but it's going to have to be against Khaos, not against PainDeViande, who can easily heal.
Marauder just getting the knock up onto Vamana. And here's Varizial one more time, waiting in the wings. You can see the pings coming out. Randozos know that Varizial's here. He's still trying to play it sneaky, but not going to be sneaky to anybody. 3 members of Randozos now making their way over to mid, trying to find some poke, but Khaos jumps away.
Varizial recognizing the potential threat of the Xbalanque, and it's going to look for an early gank, not even using the purification.
And that's the ultimate out of PandaCat. That'll send everybody packing, but that's an ultimate for nothing. Varizial will take that every day of the week. Look at that bait. PandaCat pretends to back. It takes everybody on top of Leftsyndrome. PandaCat might pay for it as the rotation for Randozos is a little bit heavier than enemies. Meerkat winds up with a strong early stack. Good stun coming out from Aduro, trying to follow up his Varizial. He's going to take out Skeeledon, but Aduro able to take out the dog as well. Pain trying to chase down Meerkat. He succeeds, but the turnaround is strong as well. 3 kills for 2. Randozos on the better side of that. But here comes Khaos. Ultimate in the drums. 1 hit, 2 hit, 3 hit, 2 hit, 2 missed. And the damage can't be found until the last basic. Leftsyndrome falls to the kill on Khaos.
Overall, 3 for 3. Meerkat was not able to find a stack. PainDeViande doing a good job sacrificing his life for that kill, not allowing a second stack to go into Meerkat's favor. So really good 3 for 3 trade so far for Randozos, I would say.
That was a 3 for 2, and Khaos forced that 3rd kill. Like, I mean, he even missed 2 of the shots, thanks to Leftsyndrome dancing very well, trying to literally run circles around the Raijin. Khaos misses 2 shots, still is able to find the kill. Again, just mechanical prowess. That last hit from the first ability, I mean, that's just on the money.
Whenever you're juking an ability like the Raijin Taiko drums, you have to try to get as close to Raijin as possible to juke it, or get out of his vision and make it a guessing game for him. Similar to the Ymir, the freeze from Ymir, the closer you are to him, the harder it is because the arc is a little bit shorter underneath, so you can easily dodge as long as you're hugging and dancing around them.
You ever run a circle around an Anubis?
Oh my goodness.
Khaos in some trouble now, going to get surrounded by Randozos. Love the prediction from Skeeledon, just follow it up, and that's going to be a dead mage. Excellent play by the jungler. Skeeledon looking very strong on this Thor today.
He has to keep on putting aggression. PandaCat going to use his ultimate. Not going to take too much damage as we do have the Athena forcing the disengage.
Leftsyndrome's here. Double hit coming out from the support. Ultimate, Leftsyndrome served up, but no one there to capitalize. PandaCat on the backside, and PainDeViande taking too much poke. PandaCat going to try and keep people at bay, but now PandaCat's got some troubles of his own. Basic attacks coming out from Meerkat as another stack goes on the Xbalanque. Randozos are even with enemy. They want to extend that and take it further to get a lead of their own. 2 stacks on Shibby already, and the Gold Fury halfway down. No one on enemy near. Randozos are going to take this one to the cleaners and wind up with the lead as soon as the Gold Fury goes down. Randozos up ahead by 1,000 gold.
Enemy not even electing to contest that. Instead, Varizial was very content with just doing his own speed buff, making sure that Marauder was going to get his own blue in response. Really interesting play out of Randozos. Being able to get that kind of an advantage is uncharacteristic for enemy to just give that away to you, kind of.
Well, so for me, I think it's all about understanding the risk versus the reward scenario. Enemy just kind of got beat up. They lost that team fight. They lost that team fight because Randozos played it just plain better than them. They understand that Xbalanque have a couple of stacks, and that can be rough to fight into. If they get the Gold Fury, they being Randozos, it's 1,000 gold lead at 8 minutes totally. I don't think enemy is able to identify that and go, okay.
It's not the end of the world for them, but as long as they don't get poked out the same way they did earlier on, they have to make sure that they respect the distance that the Thor and the Isis create together. Khaos needs to have some kind of assistance next to him if he's going to position himself aggressively.
And that's the team's confidence in themselves, right? Understanding that they can give up a 1,000 gold lead and then it won't be a big deal because they won't make that mistake again, or they'll be able to make advantage of Randozos' mistakes later on.
And like I mentioned earlier on, Whalrus can control the matchup later on in the duo sign. Meerkat might take a spill here, dying to PandaCat.
Good hit coming out from Panda, just a simple 2v1. Exactly what you want out of the Artemis kit. Get the stun into some damage. Taiko drums coming out in the mid lane. Aduro delivered directly towards Khaos, thanks to the big woof woof. And Leftsyndrome going to take out Varizial despite enemy starting this fight. Very low is Aduro. He's going to get blinked on, and Khaos will take the kill. But now he'll take the spill as Skeeledon winds up on top. That's another kill, 3 in total for the jungler.
Double tap doing so much damage. 2-for-1 trade in the mid lane, however, losing Meerkat on the side makes it an overall 2-for-2 trade. However, enemy do come out on top, getting that duo lane tower earlier on, 10-minute mark, negating the earlier Gold Fury.
Everything tied up here, Randozos versus enemy. My absolute favorite thing here about Randozos today is the kill participation on their core. You see 7, 7, and 7 for Thor, Isis, and Athena. That's exactly, there's 8 kills in total. That everything except for the solo kill that came out, right, has been this trio, this core of the team. We stress it about in the mid lane when it comes to mid harpies, but having that core online is so important just for the success throughout the mid game.
You want to establish an early lead by playing together, especially against enemy who does control objectives very dominantly. They tried to go for a red buff steal earlier on, and Randozos did a good job of stealing it right before it dropped. They're able to get a Gold Fury at the 8-minute mark. So far, Randozos has made a really good 180 compared to the first game, but just by playing together and utilizing that global pressure.
Yeah, it's interesting. Randozos adjusted a little bit to what enemy was doing, but more so they adjusted to themselves. They realized the mistakes that they had been making earlier on, and because of that, Randozos have been able to make this one a little bit more competitive.
It also helps when you don't get first blooded
at
the very start of the game, which they could have still had, I feel like.
Which was more enemy's choice than anything else, but even still, I mean, that first blood would have been much different than Xbalanque winding up with some stacks. Whalrus going to get aggressed on by, well, everybody, but he'll generally be safe thanks to the Xbalanque ultimate.
That was a lot of damage from the Raijin. Only level 12. If that was level 13 Raijin, that would have been a kill as Marauder is forced to escape, avoiding Skeeledon's ultimate.
Yeah, the turnaround coming from Randozos as they try to respond will be avoided, but here comes PainDeViande trying to keep things as ever aggressive. He gets stunned and poked out just a little bit.
And that's the synergy right there between the Thor and the Isis. Like I mentioned, either one can set up the other. This time around, it was Aduro setting up Skeeledon for the hammer and just a lot of follow-up damage.
And, you know, the beauty, something that's easily looked over, that is, you have to throw out that hammer ASAP in order to ensure the double tap.
There's a lot of aggression in the blue buff side as Khaos is in a lot of trouble, forced to escape away, lurking in the water.
There's the ultimate from Pain. He's going to sit underneath 4 members of Randozos, but the ultimate at a Leftsyndrome as everybody tries to chase down Marauder. Whalrus doesn't find the slow. The bird form's good enough, and we'll see the safely solo laner sit underneath the tower.
Meanwhile, PandaCat split pushing in the dual lane, already level 14 compared to Meerkat's 13. Looks like the rest of enemy is looking to... Did they get invaded? No, they didn't.
Nope.
No.
So PandaCat has himself a nice little dual build. That Aussie built it to fight people one-on-one, providing the health and the return with the lifesteal. Ichabal, on the other hand, Ichabal is thought of as the 1v1 item because it reduces the enemy power, but with no lifesteal. I mean, that's a rough situation for the Xbalanque to really fight into.
No follow-up available for Varizial as Athena was too far out of position. Nice attempt, though. Forcing the purification should allow Randozos to take advantage of that in the next engagement.
Now, going back to the Hunter builds over here, I like the difference in the Hunter builds because I think it shows the individual play styles. Meerkat, thinking about the team, I'm going to go ahead and wind up with these team fights. Ataraxia famously says that 1v1s are for ranked, not for competitive. Stay away from your Hunter duels. PandaCat didn't get that memo. He's looking to take everybody 1v1 in the back alley, building up that Aussie. He wants these fights. He even has the blink.
He wants the fights, and he's going to look for a potential kill into Meerkat. He's forced to dash away. Going to even take the red buff away from Randozos, as it looks like Randozos want to respond, catching PandaCat out of position. Good. But from a nice pluck, Skeeledon won't be able to capitalize.
Yeah, PainDeViande might trade his life here, but he saved the life of his Hunter. That's exactly what you want from your team leader, your support. No?
The timing of this death was very bad right now coming out of enemy at the 14-minute mark with Gold Fury respawning. PandaCat looking on the side, not covered by any wards. So this could be a really good flank, allowing, as long as PandaCat comes from behind, this is going to do so much damage.
That's what he's going to do. There's the volley waiting on the boar. Skeeledon starts it off by getting a kill on a Marauder, but there comes the boar. Meerkat going to fall down to the hand of PandaCat. Still looking for more on top of Leftsyndrome, who ults, but his target is dead. Now a Duro, but it's 3-on-1. PandaCat surrounding. PandaCat gets 2 before Whalrus takes him out. The big baby looking at Khaos now. Jumping over him is Varizial, looking directly at the Hunter. Whalrus onto Khaos. He had 1 earlier. Now looking for the second. There's the knockup. It's 2 for Whalrus. Varizial finds the kill on the left, and so it's a 3 for 4. Enemy on top.
Enemy on top right now, but it was an earlier death on PainDeViande, so technically it was a 4-on-4. Really good positioning coming out of PandaCat, playing very patiently. That boar also preventing him from getting stunned on the Isis. Had they had PainDeViande during that engage, that would have been an easy 5-on-5 fight for enemy, and they would have potentially gotten the Gold Fury.
Look at PandaCat right there, just the eyes of a killer.
Of the Ukrainian brethren.
That's very true. Yeah. PandaCat also Ukrainian, just like you, Toli. I mean, what is it? What about that Ukrainian blood makes you guys so eager to take the 1v1s?
We're very cold.
So PandaCat, anything but 3-2-2 on this Artemis. He looked very strong on the Xbalanque earlier in game number 1 as well. Very, very hot as he's just building into this chin side most likely. And it's just going to be just more absolute damage coming out from this terrifying Artemis.
He needs to be able to respond to Whalrus. The way Whalrus played that last team fight, he was able to do whatever he wanted in big baby form. They're going to need to find the burst CC, as we do have a double taunt coming out with the Isis stun and the Thor.
Oh, the double stun is strong. PainDeViande taking a whole bunch of damage, and Khaos looks like he's going to fall, but he won't. Just gets out by the skin of his teeth, and Randozos can't find the damage necessary to put a cork on top of the mid-mage. Khaos lives with about 15 HP.
Just a little bit of damage off. It was a really good disruption. Khaos preventing the Berserker barrage. The purification wasn't used preemptively before the Taiko drums.
Just rough stuff. Why couldn't Randozos finish that? They're going to go for the Gold Fury either way. 25% down. There's the blink from PandaCat. The Randozos get the Gold Fury, but they're not on the top of this fight. Dashing out his Leftsyndrome. PandaCat threads the needle and gets a Duro from a distance with the basic, but everybody else going to be safe. Randozos trade 1 player for the Gold Fury and find themselves up by 1,000.
Meerkat's in a lot of trouble as Varizial's looking to get the kill. It's going to be 1 death on the left-hand side. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Tier 1 tower does fall. Varizial finally finds the kill, and Tier 2 tower in the mid lane is being aggressed on.
That's rough for Meerkat. Nothing he could do there. The dash wasn't up. No way for him to get away from the dog. Only thing he can do is turn and fight. Does what he can, but ultimately Varizial winds up on top. He's level 16 compared to Meerkat's 2, or 14 rather. An enemy now after taking the mid-tier 2 tower. certainly find themselves nice and even with Randozos. Again, it's just been a back and forth. 1,000 for 1,000. Khaos going to be cornered, and Whalrus finds another kill. PainDeViande stunned out, walled off, but he'll dash away. And Randozos still pushing the forward button. Attacking the tower, finds the taunt, damage on the Pain. 25%, but here comes Varizial. Enough to chase everybody off of the tower. Skeeledon activates Berserker Barrage, and that'll be that.
So even though Randozos do get the gold fear early on, the fact that enemy was able to capitalize with 2 kills, 2 towers, and a red buff favoring the Marauder forced to go up into the clouds might be able to get away, potentially, depending on how the Randozos spread themselves out.
Literally forced. He was so low. Instant meditation. Still looking to be aggressive. And now he's going to dash away. Varizial surrounded by Randozos, but the ultimate from Skeeledon off the mark. Stun not on Fenrir, and Randozos just going to walk away.
It's a 5-on-4 currently for Randozos as Khaos just respawns now. They needed to utilize that advantage and get that tier 1 middle tower, but enemy doing a really good job defending as they're trying to get on the chase. Skeeledon doesn't have much mana. Aduro's caught out of position. That's going to be an easy kill.
Marauder hits. When you see an aggressive bird form, you know that enemy are 100% confident in that kill and the follow-up that gets delivered to Marauder. 15-13. Enemy are leading by 2,000 gold, which is the biggest lead that we've had. Can we take a look at the graphs? Look how back and forth this game has been. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So exciting. But this is really where enemy are able to inch out as they take another 1,500 off of the map.
What PandaCat tried to do there was utilize the board to tank the tower for him, eliminate the backdoor protections. Unfortunately for them, Randozos' minion wave was right beside it, so it kind of deterred the AI away from the tower.
So there was some method to the madness.
There was some method to the madness. He just should have been a little bit more patient, waiting to clear the way first, and then dropping Tusky under the tier 2 tower.
Still, PandaCat on an absolute tear today. 3 levels up above Meerkat and a whole 1,000 gold, plus a Chinsai. Certainly a good look. Meerkat actually going to build into the Aussie, so a little bit later, but still has that available. So the build coming out from both hunters a little bit different now with the Chinsai. I mean, it's less about as just a boxing build or whatnot, and when you get into the mid game and then the late game, it's just about dealing damage.
So during team fights, Meerkat is expecting to get aggressed on as Thor is in the air. Xbalanque using his ulti.
There's a taunt. Not going to be used just yet. Sprint is up. Khaos in the ultimate. He's taking a lot of damage, but dishing it out as well. Shell is popped for the guys on enemy, and the return damage from Randozos just can't keep up. Leftsyndrome shield wall finds a kill on Khaos, and PainDeViande going to be aggressed on by 3 separate players. Ultimate out of Meerkat going to make him land down. There's a big old slow. Blue stone going to be distributed amongst everybody, but still just traffic on the right side of the map. PainDeViande very low. You can hear PandaCat dealing out those basics. Turned around, looking at Meerkat. Purification used to no stun, but Meerkat can't find the damage. Varizial certainly can. Just off of a kill onto Aduro. Now looking for Meerkat. Those basics hurt a little bit more now with Aussie, so the dog forced out.
So far it's a 2-for-1 trade favoring Randozos as Athena and Whalrus are trying to chase PandaCat. Purification used. Not much mana on PandaCat. There should be a kill after the taunts, allowing it to be a 3-for-1 trade.
Absolutely choice team fight by Randozos. You know, it's funny. That fight looked, if I had to pick a word, random. Everything just all over the place. No real synergy, just damage on every portion of the map, or every portion of that side of the map. 3 members wind up dying to enemy on enemy side. Big concentration on a Khaos, and then just solid cleanup.
And right now, solid cleanup. They're going to need to clean up Marauder if they want to get this Fire Giant, and they do. So now they're going to continue with the Fire Giant. Khaos is coming around the corner. Will he get there in time, however, to steal this?
No ultimate available, but enemy steals it anyway. Khaos on the top, looking so hot the past 2 weeks. Randozos with the first opportunity in this game turns around as enemy wind up on top. Khaos now just sending the taiko drums down the corridor, and enemy still up by 3,000 and a stolen Fire
Any
Giant.
sort of hope that Randozos had right there was taken away from Khaos. So the beginning of that last team fight, the way Randozos initiated on Khaos was what allowed them to open up the rest of the kills for them. And now, despite Khaos dying earlier on, now he's the one that saved them. So he made up for his earlier mistakes in mispositioning.
Now it's funny, you see Marauder go in there and try to steal the Fire Giant or just do whatever Sun Wukong does. And you look at that in a vacuum and you say, that's a bad play. Sun Wukong's not able to steal that. But it's less about stealing the Fire Giant and more about extending it.
extending it, buying time, allowing Khaos to come in for the hot cleanup. And that's kind of the mentality that you need to have as a Guardian and as a soul lane warrior, or if you're playing a soul lane Guardian as well. You have to be that frontline person just to deter the enemy away from the objective, allowing your more bursty mages or hunters to come in position and actually get the guaranteed steal.
As the solo lane and as a support, you're the utility. You're not always going to wind up on the Jiffy Cat. Sometimes you're gifted and you get to go ahead and fight 1v4 because you're fed in the solo lane. But you're not always going to wind up on that highlight reel. But your actions, a lot of times when you sit with solo laners and they watch the highlight reel, they go, yeah, you roll that back 15 seconds and I'm the one that's setting that up, right? Like, that's really your role, and embracing that allows you to become one of these players. Like Marauder had no problem dying there. He does not care. He's all smiles because he knows that Khaos is going to follow up.
Everyone on enemy knows their position, as we do have PainDeViande
Huge
aggressing.
crits. PandaCat winds up taking out Leftsyndrome very quickly, and there comes Khaos. 1, 2, 3, 4, all 4 hit. Transport forward, sending Skeeledon packing. This left Phoenix going to be in trouble. Marauder already shading over to the mid lane. Left Phoenix taken. Mid Phoenix aggressed on. You can see Vamana doing what he can on the left side, but it's not going to be enough. Mid Phoenix will fall as well. Enemy very, very strong.
They're looking to close out the game if they can get another kill. Titan is being aggressed on after the second Phoenix does fall. 3-for-0 trade so far. It looks like Varizial wants to get the Titan, but the rest of the enemy want to respect the respawn timers of Aduro and Leftsyndrome. Just going to back off right now. Going to elect to maybe take the speed buff away from Randozos, take the tier 2 tower away as well.
Smart call here coming out from enemy. There's a difference between playing aggressive and playing reckless, and I think that that initial push into the base, all right, if we get the kill, we go for the win. We didn't find the kill, so let's just go for the right side, take out some towers.
Another thing, PandaCat's the only one that with level 20 on enemy right now, so they need to get the level 20, get the ultimate for Khaos. The Taiko jumps will do a lot of damage onto that Titan as well. They want to back and buy. They're sitting on a lot of gold in hand. PainDeViande with over 3,000 gold in hand.
He hasn't backed in forever. Pain's going to go ahead and select. Well, he bought a whole breastplate, folks.
Just like that, buying a whole breastplate.
And he brought a whole Nemean line.
And he sold his starting item for a high-end Nemean line. He's going to be very tanky. It's going to be very difficult for Skeeledon or Meerkat to do any sort of damage to him when he aggresses in the front line and tries to plug a Duro.
Even Whalrus. Whalrus is going to be taking some of that return damage thanks to the basic attack feature of the passive on Nemean. But really, I mean, when we look at Nemean Lion, it's just about the stats. What is it, 80 physical protection? That's obscene.
It's 90 physical protection, 200 mana, and 20% reflection. However, it's not about Whalrus. Oh, we do have aggression, and Meerkat's going to take a spill already.
So PandaCat's going to take 1v2. Skeeledon ultimately puts PandaCat in the ground, but Skeeledon should go ahead and fall. No, great taunt will save the life of the jungler. Nice teleport out from Thor. Marauder, different story, being aggressed on by Aduro, chasing out the ultimate already. Jumping forward is the Sun Wukong, finds the stun onto the mid laner, and then backside you see Whalrus dancing with Varizial.
So far, it's a 1-for-1 trade for both teams. Enemies looking to get more kills and close out the game. Aduro's going to be the next victim as Khaos comes lining in with the Taiko jumps, trying to find Skeeledon. Going to miss all 4. Very uncharacteristic, but they're still going to be able to find the kill. Oh no, he gets away.
The burst damage from the combo, and PainDeViande waiting in the base. I'm in your base, killing your dudes. PainDeViande finds his second kill of the contest, 10 assists as well on the support Sobek. The rest of enemy going to go ahead and push into the base while Varizial deals with Vamana on the side. Marauder very low, but Varizial. Whalrus taking the 1v1. Both of them level 20. They're seething how Varizial trying to find the upper hand, gets the stun, and there's the brutalize, and that's the kill. Whalrus falls down to the big dog, and Varizial stands and takes one last look at the corpse of Whalrus.
We call that meditation bait, and dude, that's very not normal when a jungler picks up meditation at this point in the game. Enemies Varizial playing really well, recognizing just how much he could have traded with a Seething Howl, and also holding on to that meditation at the very last second. Definitely caught Whalrus off guard.
The build from Varizial also rather interesting. You see the very aggressive, you generally see very aggressive boots, Jotuns, and then defensive, but full defensive, just straight up, I'm going to buy a Hide of the Urchin, and then we're also going into a Spirit Robe, so full-on warrior dog.
And you could do that with Fenrir as long as you're being aggressive. Your base damage is high enough that you don't need extra damage realistically, as long as you're tanky enough to get the benefits off of Seething Howl.
And there comes Leftsyndrome trying to do his best Khaos impersonation, but the powerful Pooch makes sure that Leftsyndrome can't get in there. PandaCat on top of that one. 8 kills in total for the young enemy hunter. He winds up with only 4 deaths as well. Enemy looking very strong here, folks, in game number 2. 26.5 on the clock. Enemy lead by 7 separate kills and 10,000 gold. Randozos were able to hang just a little bit, but as the game got later and later, enemy took it out from underneath them.
Now enemy looking to get this third Phoenix on the right-hand side and then potentially clean up. We do have Skeeledon landing on top of PandaCat. No purification used at all.
Love the play from enemy there. As soon as they see Thor in the air, PandaCat positions his camera up, lets the team know that Skeeledon's coming. Everybody on enemy turns around, takes out the jungler, immediately a 4v5. Now, one by one, the players fall. Aduro and Whalrus, the only players here that can play defense. Enemy going to go ahead and just hit these towers a couple of times, take out the Phoenixes, and then inevitably look towards the Titan. There's the triple taunt coming out of Leftsyndrome. This is the last stand for Randozos. Khaos wind up with 1 kill. PandaCat winds up with another. Whalrus, the last man standing, and the Titan is gonna fall despite the Vamana in the big baby form. Enemy wants to kill Whalrus before they kill the Titan, but it doesn't look like that's gonna be the case.
Especially a big baby getting healed in the fountain. Varizial trying to buy a little bit of time, not gonna find it. The fire minutes are gonna be able to get the Titan.
Look at this,
any
look,
second.
enemy.
There we go.
Enemy letting the minions kill the Titan while they stare at Whalrus in the fountain.
That's like an extra 3 players right there. Whenever you have a fire wave from each wave, that's considered like a +1.
That was, oh man, that is iconic because enemy have routinely been the Pain sort of plays the bad guy, the heel of the scene, but enemy are really sort of like these. They're not as loud as some of the other players. That was pretty damn loud.
That was pretty damn loud, but also the first blood was also pretty loud as well. Khaos was playing really well throughout the whole game, especially during the first blood. Marauder able to find the first kill earlier on top of Whalrus, and like I mentioned, Whalrus had to respect the early game pressure coming out of Marauder, and Marauder playing some Wukong more importantly.
Yeah, I just couldn't handle it. Khaos as well, though, still on a hot streak. Last week was incredible for him. This week, still just the same. Whether he's playing Raijin or Giannis, just able to find this incredible damage.
And that was the team fight that should have initiated onto Khaos. Khaos constantly using those taiko drums, pulling people towards him, taking more damage overall.
And you know what's fun? What's fun about this is we get to see these big, flashy highlight reel plays where Khaos just does a ton of damage and puts out a ton of numbers. That wasn't the only gameplay from Khaos. We routinely saw with the first play that we noticed was the Winga stopped with the teleport out of the Raijin,
Level
and
2.
just a lot of smart play coming out from the
plays.
Raijin.
He also rotated in the duo lane after the earlier trade from PandaCat and Meerkat as well. I just noticed that they both have cats in their name.
Yeah. The Hunter Cats. Here's PandaCat doing his thing, finding the and again, it's just so much fun to watch PandaCat's Artemis because this character is made to play aggressive, but if you play too aggressive, you wind up in a bad spot. This play right here is so iconic for me for PandaCat. He knows exactly how aggressive he's able to be, flanks her on the side on the left, and then is able to go ahead and turn that into a couple of kills.
He gets a couple of kills. His positioning was really on point, utilizing the blink whenever he needs to.
Yep.
Recognizing the fact that the rest of his teammates will follow up no matter what. Using the board to avoid CC as well is something that he's very comfortable with.
Just extravagant play coming out from everybody on enemy. PandaCat again. Here. Panda over the mirror. Stun. Couple of basics. Doesn't matter if Skeeledon shows up. Honestly, if PandaCat preemptively purified, PandaCat takes out the Hunter, PandaCat takes out the jungler, and maybe even the Athena that comes down. That guy's out of control, man. Last thoughts on that set.
Enemy just playing lights out already. Getting that 2-for-0 on that set puts them at 16-6, and separates them a little bit away from Eager and Luminosity as they're right behind them.
Yeah, Soar and enemy right now, 1 and 2, very high up there. Eager, number 3. Don't forget, Soar and Eager are going to be playing right after this one. So it's possible that Eager winds up with 15 wins. It's possible that enemy pops up. There's a lot of things that could happen here with the standings, so don't go anywhere. Eager versus Soar coming right up after the break.